Do you by any chance have cold hands and feet, dry skin, perhaps thinning hair, say you can't lose weight? You're tired all the time. Could your thyroid be to blame? It's that butterfly-shaped gland that lies below the Adam's apple along the front of the windpipe. One more question. Have you been told your thyroid level is normal? Terry Suresh, nurse practitioner and founder of Hormonal Health and Wellness Centers, is here with some really important information today. Thanks for coming in, Terry. Appreciate it. The thyroid is a major concern for your teams. Would you tell me why it's a priority?
Well, in our grand scheme of hormone balancing, that is one of the most important hormones. And one thing that we're finding is that, and the reason I'm so passionate about it, is over 13 million Americans are undiagnosed with low thyroid. And that really creates a lot of problems. And I really believe that it's because we've become so reliant on blood tests rather than good old-fashioned, checking pulse, feeling the hand, just a good old-fashioned physical exam, because low thyroid can show up just looking and talking to a patient.
Well, and you were saying that one of the classic signs has to do with, I said hairline, but you said not exactly, really eyebrows?
Right.
What is that?
So hair thinning is a sign, but the classic sign is called the Queen Anne sign, or the Hertog sign, and that's where the outer third of the eyebrows is thin or non-existent, and that is just a telltale sign. And we see it often where we see this sign in a patient, but they've been told, that their labs are normal, but that's very classic. Cold hands, cold feet. The ones we all know about is can't lose weight, extreme fatigue. Those are very important, but those can be other reasons as well. So there's a lot of hidden reasons with thyroid that are really important.
So one of the things you brought up was that a lot of times if you're concerned about anything like that, you may go get a blood test, and the blood test may show that it will show that you're fine when you're not.
Often we see that, and one thing that a lot of people don't understand, and I didn't really learn this in school either until I really dug deep into learning about thyroid, is that the tissue levels of thyroid, what's going on at the cellular level, are low many years before it might show up on a blood test. Moreover, often we're checking just one thyroid blood test, but there are actually several, and there's a key thyroid blood test that a lot of practitioners don't check, and that's called a free T3, and that is what our body actually uses for thyroid, and often it goes unchecked.
Well, let me ask you, how important is this? I mean, if you have an undiagnosed thyroid problem, your eyes got big when I said that. Why?
Well, because unfortunately what happens for a lot of people, low thyroid also affects the brain fog, fatigue, anxiety, depression. Those are also low testosterone signs, of course. So you really have to ferret out what that's about. But it's also important because often people won't be treated and 40 pounds later, or their hair's fallen out, a lot of practitioners wait until it shows up on a blood test, and that's way too late. The thyroid plays a key role in every cell in the body.
So if you think that you perhaps have any of these symptoms, you're unsure about this, and you want to look up some stuff, some more information, where's a good source for that?
One of my favorite references is called type 2 hypothyroidism, and that's really what we're talking about in this country. It's a syndrome where the thyroid gland makes plenty of hormone, but it can't get into the cell. There's a lot of reasons around that with the foods we eat and all kinds of things that we can get into on another show. But type 2 hypothyroidism by Mark Starr is really important reference. He really gets into the whys of, well, why is my thyroid test normal, but I have all the symptoms of low thyroid, and you can get that on Amazon.
And also, we're going to give you the number for Hormonal Health and Wellness and Aesthetic Centers, and that's another place, of course, you could call if you're interested in any of this. Finally, you're just saying don't wait.
Don't wait, and pay attention to those symptoms of depression, anxiety, weight gain, fatigue. Everything I talked about is so important.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you.
As we said, you can find out more by calling Hormonal Health, Wellness, and Aesthetic Centers. It's in Southlake. The number is 817-328-8376. In Rockwall, 469-402-1877, or to hormonalhealthandwellness.com, and we'll be right back.